The latest James Charles video is absolute garbage, and today I want to explain how his behavior is just absolutely incongruent with what he's talking about. He basically rambles at the camera for 30 minutes. One of the first things I noticed is that he says makeup is a therapy for him, and that's totally fine. But in an apology video, would you be expecting him to do makeup?
So when someone is uncomfortable, they'll often ride their hands together, like you'll see in this video here of Jennifer, who committed a heinous crime. And this is when she's being interrogated by the detectives. You'll see her put her hands together and try to soothe herself while she's recounting the story of what happened when her parents were murdered.
Up. He's using the makeup to cover up, to literally, no pun intended, right? It just comes off as disingenuous. I mean, if you're apologizing to somebody and you're like texting on your phone, oh, I'm so sorry. My phone is soothing to me. So I'm gonna try to apologize to you while texting, and I'm not really looking at you, and I'm just doing something else while I'm apologizing. Does that come off as genuine? Absolutely not. When was the last time you apologized to somebody and you were smiling like this? Boy, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did all those weirdo things with children in the DMs, It's incongruent with what, again, the theme of the video. The other obvious problem is that the title of this video is an open conversation. James, a conversation is something that happens between at least two or more people, and you're just talking at a camera, man. I'm not having a discussion with you right now. This is a commentary video. Clearly, you didn't really consult anybody on making this video, because if they did, they would have organized it in such a way that was much more exactly that, organized, right? Instead of an open conversation, why didn't you just make an apology video? Between 1 and 4 minutes, he talks about how much work he's doing behind the scenes on his career and himself and all this stuff. He blurs the line between working on himself and working on his career, and it's just like, dude, I thought you were, in the beginning, he says he's been working on himself the last few months, but in reality, he's been like planning and scheming with whoever, trying to figure out how he's going to get past all these criminal allegations. Holding yourself accountable can't change what you did in the past, man. It would be better, honestly, a better apology would have been to own up to it and say you made a mistake. Like, instead, this entire time he's trying to weasel his way out of it with rationalizations. This is something that we all do as humans, right? We try to rationalize why we did something, why we did something in the past. We did it because of this. At 4 minutes, James talks about how he was lied to about people's ages. Now, if you look around the internet, there's a lot of people that have posted screenshots of him talking about, ages, and, he's generally pretty cautious when it comes to this, and calls people out when he thinks that there's an issue. But clearly, he's playing the victim card here and saying that it's not my fault because I didn't know how old they were. Well, James, the crime doesn't work that way. You can't plead ignorance just because you didn't know. It's still illegal to solicit something from a minor. At 6 minutes, he brings up all the scandals that happened to him in 2019, which I believe were between Jeffree Star and Tati Westbrook. I remember hearing about that some time ago. And he talks about how he proved it all wrong, like how he proved that he was innocent. And, what he's saying here is that, because I was not found not guilty and fine in the past, that you guys should, forgive me or look past this, because obviously if I was innocent before, why would I be guilty now? It's, again, a very shallow and childish manipulation of the current accusations. And again, like he said in the beginning, he's like, I'm working on myself, but at 6 minutes he talks about how he is working on his, had to work on his brand and social media following, and to build himself back up after what happened in 2019, which, James, I mean, let's be honest here, you clearly haven't learned from your mistakes that you've made in the past, and you still don't know how to apologize like a grown-up or take accountability for your actions. Like, your accountability is rationalizing things that happened in the past and explaining away your actions with, whatever you think makes you innocent here, which honestly doesn't seem like very much. So at 9 minutes, he moves on to say he was, again, the victim, telling us how he was fished by underage guys, and he's getting so much attention every day because of his following that statistically he's going to be this gigantic target, which maybe there's some truth to that, but again, he's rationalizing his behavior and stating that, like, he has no accountability for it because he was tricked. This is the second time he brings it up in the video, so he must really believe that he is the victim here. He actually blames society at 11 minutes, saying just because he has a big platform, he's going to be the target of what is someone else's motivation for posing as an underage person to solicit James? I know I have like a baby face and all that, but say I pose as an underage guy, what do I stand to gain in that situation? Clout? Like, he thinks that I'm going after him to like gain a following and then expose him for like going after an underage boy. That line of logic just doesn't really add up or make sense to me. 12 minutes he's talking about how basically anybody that makes a video about him, kind of like what I'm doing right now, you're going to go viral. And he's a victim because he's got this big platform, and anyone that makes a video about him is going to get big. So people are just doing this to gain clout and following, and call him out. Again, he's throwing out the victim card here. This is like the third time. As you clearly deleted that video, you don't believe you have any. What better symbolism do you need? You don't believe you have any accountability here. You're not going to have much privacy, man. That comes with being a celebrity. But at 14 minutes, he says that other people just photoshopped conversations. And this is, I mean, maybe one of his best defense points, because Photoshop is a real thing, and paint, of course, you can manipulate things and paint and all that. But if you follow the trail and do any amount of digging, you can see that there are so many of these. I just find it hard to believe that people would just make this up out of nowhere. Again, what is there to gain? Like, besides social media following, making a video about this stuff, what else is there to like accomplish? And why would they do it in this specific way? Like, why would you choose specifically to say, I'm an underage guy, and there's 1,000,001 other things that you could like talk about? So why is everyone taking this one particular angle about you talking to underage guys? The logic here just does not add up. I'm not going to include any screenshots because I don't have them, which is totally fine. But, he also says in the same vein that before, when he has, there's been allegations against him or he's been in drama, he shared photos. So it's just like, well, James, if you have documents, like if you have documentation that you're innocent and that things were photoshopped, then why wouldn't you release them? That's like your best chance. At 17 minutes, he says he wishes he could have split himself into two people, and he didn't understand that he couldn't do this. The fact that he brings up trying to split himself into two different entities, to have a private life and a public life, also kind of speaks to his guilt here, because why would you even think of doing that if you didn't have something to hide? The only reason you would want to separate yourself to split yourself into two different entities is so that you could have a public persona and then have one where you're hiding all of the naughty things that you've done. So at 17 minutes, he tells stories of when people took pictures of him. And the reason you play the victim card is because you want your audience to feel sorry for you because something happened that you didn't have control over. It's very hard to feel sorry for you. And, you have this great platform and audience that you've kind of destroyed with your actions. And it would just have been a much better apology if you came out and said, I'm responsible for all this. This was my problem. I need help. Like, go get help, man. Go speak to a therapist. Again, he wants us to feel sorry for him for trying to find the one. In his search to find the one, of course, he's going to have underage people reaching out to him to try to mingle and mix and stir up some drama, right? But for the clout, So you need to feel sorry for him. But there's so many evil people out there that this one specific, very odd thing, right? People could react to or say anything they want about you, James. Why did they pick this one specific thing about you going after underage boys? And then finally at 22 minutes, he transitions into the final end of his makeup. I don't understand how this could have been a serious video. Not only is he smiling the whole time, but he is doing makeup. And James, when you apologize to someone, usually you should be taking responsibility for your actions and the things that you did and offering up some sort of actual concrete proof, but you have none. All you have is your words. You're just...
Hey everyone, so that was pretty much my take on the James Charles video. I would really like to know what you think about it, and write in the comments down below if you think I was wrong on any particular part. It just, in totality, seemed like a very dismissive and manipulative video. There were a lot of points, other points, as I rewatch it that I could re-record and do a better analysis of. But of course, it takes several hours to put together videos, and it's pretty hard work. But let me know what you think, and of course, follow me on socials. I'll be there, and I'll catch you later.